Good morning, aspiring EMs. It's Monday. I'm Dan Pugh, and I'm here to tell you how I got into emergency management. Even from a young age, I knew I wanted to go into public service. I joined the volunteer fire department in the late 90s, and I never looked back. In the early 2000s, I started teaching public outreach classes like CPR and first aid in an effort to be more proactive in the field. I thought, what if I could help more people start care when someone gets sick or injured? It might make the situation less bad. I didn't realize back then that I was describing mitigation, but that mindset led me to working on disaster plans for our EMS agency. Eventually, I took over as the Special Operations Coordinator, doing much of the disaster planning, training, and exercising. After a few more years, I made the move to full-time emergency management. First as a training and exercise officer, then as a public health emergency manager, and finally taking over as the Director of Emergency Management in a large metropolitan area. After 20 years, I left government work to start my own consulting company doing preparedness and professional development activities. But just telling you my pathway through emergency management doesn't really give you much information for your own journey, so if you will indulge me, I'd like to share a few lessons I've learned along the way. The first is to build resilience within your skill sets. When most of my peers were doing professional development relating to their specific jobs, I put at least half of my professional development time into societal skills, like soft skills. I focused my collegiate studies in non-governmental areas to help offset most of my experience being in government service. When some were becoming really good at one aspect of the field, I was learning about as many aspects as I could. Now, it's fine to have a specialty, something you do better than many others, but remember to also give time and effort to other areas too, because those skill sets can really come in handy when the needs of your community or your clients change. And make sure you can keep some of that versatility in your personal life too. Which leads me to my second point. Emergency management is a career. I hear many people say it's a calling, and maybe it is for you. But remember, it is also a career. You need to have time outside of your career to help combat burnout. Maybe that's time with family or friends. Maybe that's a hobby that you focus on once a week or once a month. But you've got to have something that is a stress reliever for you that isn't tied to your career. In emergency management, we have done a poor job of managing burnout. We cannot rely on pushing people harder to solve our problems. We have to allow them breaks from the seemingly endless disasters. And when you do get those breaks, you need to have places you can go, people you can be with, or things you can do to relieve stress. Which leads me to my final point. Always put people first. We write and validate plans, policies, and procedures to ensure no matter who is doing the job will get done. And that's exactly what we should do, because we have to be able to give people a break. We cannot build unrealistic expectations that without this one person, the whole system will fail. That isn't healthy, because it puts too much stress on the individual. People are our greatest asset, and we don't want to use people as our fail point. Emergency management is a small community. We need to support each other. We are all in this together. I want to leave you with a thought. If you could have 3 words on your tombstone to enshrine what you want people to remember about you, what would they be? Whatever your path into or through emergency management holds, always keep those 3 words in the forefront of your mind. They may well become your legacy. My words: kind, authentic, helpful. I'd love to see your 3 words in the comments. Take care.